everybody, it's Nick with 39 County Home. I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys of how I make my bows for my wreaths. So I thought, what better time than to come on and show you how I make one for a wreath I'm working on. Before we get started, I wanted to show you one I just completed. Over here we have a red truck wreath for Christmas. This is on an evergreen base with some floral picks, and I used 3 different types of ribbon for this bow, and we're gonna make one just like it right now. Currently I'm working on this merry and bright red truck wreath. Looks like this, but I thought it'd just look really nice with the bow on top. So we're gonna make that right now. With the ribbon, or with the bow, excuse me, we're gonna be using these 3 ribbons. I am gonna be using a truck ribbon, and then just a solid red, and then a plaid. I've made them with all 1.5 ribbon before. Sometimes I throw in a 2.5 inch ribbon. I've made one with all 2.5 inch ribbon and it got really big. So kind of just play around with it and see what works best for the wreath you're working on. Okay, I'm gonna be making this bow tonight on my Bowdabra. A lot of people use the Easy Bow Maker. You can also make this bow by pinching it with your fingers. My fingers get tired when I do it that way, so I make it on my Bowdabra, and it's always worked well for me. This is the Bowdabra wire. It comes in 100 yards, and I got this like in August, and I'm still working on the same roll. So it lasts you a while. What you want to do is start off, and oh gosh, I'd say probably about the length of a yardstick. Is a little underneath that is the length I cut off. You're gonna pinch it in half. And you put it in here like this. Okay, now we're ready to start our bow. I like to start with my 2.5 inch ribbon first, and then layer the 2 1.5 ones on top of that. So we're gonna start with our truck ribbon here. I think I'll match this wreath perfectly. Starting a new roll here. So cut off the excess. So what you want to do is lay down your ribbon print side up, and then figure out how long you want your tails to be. I do not cut it ahead of time. I just pull it right off the roll and kind of just eyeball it. But I think we'll make these about 1.5 feet. So what you're going to do is print side up, come over here and twist. And then you're going to put that right down in your bow maker. And then you can bring the ribbon over. I like to twist my Bowdabra, and then figure out how long you want your loop in your bow to be. That's probably, I'd say 3 inches. And then come over here, find your end, and snip it right in between those 2 trucks, which is perfect. Didn't have to cut one in half. And now we're gonna do our next ribbon. We'll go in with the solid neck, so I don't have 2 whites next to each other. And this time it's gonna be the exact same thing, but it's gonna go off this way, okay? So same length, twist, put it down in there, and I spin my Bowdabra down in there and cut. That ribbon's really nice because it kind of doesn't really have a top or bottom, so it doesn't matter so much when you're seeing the back side of that one. Now our 3rd ribbon. This one is going to start the same way our first one did. So 1, 3, 5, they're all going to be going off this way, and then the even numbers on the other side. Find your tail, twist, go down in there, and cut. All right, so there's 3. Now I like to do 9 layers on my bow, so we'll have 3 of the truck, 3 of the solid, 3 of the plaid, so we'll just keep going here. Twist. Got that one. Grab our solid, twist. In there, snip, and our plaid. Down in there. Our loop. Snip it. Okay, one more set, because I want this to be a really big bow. I have done just 6 and stopped there, but I think for this one I want it to be 9 high. So this one will be the same as the very first 3 we put in. Twist. In there. I'm keeping my loops the same length the entire way up. Our solid. Twist. Snip. And our plaid to end it out. Horrible noise on the countertop. And snip. All right, there we go. The Bowdabra also comes with a tool that you can kind of put in here to push your ribbons down, but I don't want them to be too compacted because they're easier to spin when you're done with your bow. So now that we have our 9 levels, I'm going to, you can bring this side over to this side or this side over to this side. I'll bring the 2 ends over to the loop right over top here. And we're going to stick it through the loop and you pull tight, okay? Now we have our bow. Pull it out of there. And you want to kind of make sure they don't fall off of each other. And what I like to do is cross these over each other. And then without pulling too tight, flip the whole thing over. And I do about 3 knots. Okay. And this is how we'll secure it to the wreath. But first we need to fluff it. Right now it kind of just looks like a hot mess. So we're gonna fluff it. I start with the top loop and pull it up and then spread these out. Next level down, spread out. There's our truck. The key with making these bows is you want to make sure you have wired ribbon. Making this without ribbon that has wire in it is really hard. The bow doesn't want to stand up, as you can see. So make sure you're doing wired ribbon. Okay, so there's our bow. And we're going to stick it on the wreath and then we're going to dovetail all of our ends so it looks nice and finished. Let me grab the wreath here. Where is the other end? There it is. Okay. So I just reach through. I'm going to pull tight, and I'm just triple knotting it on the back. You can trim your excess there when you're all done. But now we have our bow on the wreath. Make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed. You can, because it's wire ribbon, you can really manipulate it well and easily. Okay, so now we're gonna finish off our ends. I kind of like all the ends to be different lengths. So the top ones are a little shorter and the bottom ones are, normally my bows are up here, so they're coming out this way. I like those to be a little longer. You just bend your ribbon in half. Snip it off. nice little mess at the end here I can clean up. I've also been known to, if I had a long tail and I wanted to make my bow a little fuller, put a little hot glue in there, and you can kind of tuck it in and cheat a little bit and get some extra tail. If you wanted to, if you were using ribbon with words on it, for example, and you wanted them, I made one the other day that said Merry Christmas on it, and I didn't want Merry Christmas to be upside down, so I snipped it off, flipped it, glued it underneath, and that way when you're looking at it, it reads correctly both ways. So something to think about. Something that helped me when I was first starting out too was to hang my wreath up and then trim these tails while the wreath was hanging up, because then I could kind of see which way they wanted to lay. Almost done here. Sometimes it's fun to leave a few long tails and roll them up underneath too, so you get some curlies hanging down. It's always fun. A few more. All right. Give it another fluff. All right, guys. There it is. I'll hold it up here for you so you can see it. Here we have our finished bow on our wreath. Thanks so much for the support, guys. Be sure to check out my Etsy shop. It's etsy.com/shop/39countyhome. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.